Yo, what is up guys? And today we're gonna be reacting to this video. I haven't reacted to a video in a while, and I've been really wanting an excuse to talk about this subject. Has predator catchers gone too far? Now, if you somehow have no idea what I'm talking about, there's been like a huge surge in like predator catcher channels. There's Skeeter Gene, there's Gideon, there's also OGs like Alex Rosen and Dads Against Predators, and recent ones like Oma. Now, before I go too in depth what I think about these channels, let's look at August the Duck's "This Predator Catcher Went Too Far" video.
Talked many times about content creators who make content that is thinly veiled as this attempt to like better society or benefit the people around them, when in reality, the only reason that content is being made is because it's benefiting the person who makes it. It's not helping out the people that they claim it is, and a lot of times it's actually at their expense. And one of the most common kinds of content that I see this problem arise is with the whole predator catching genre that seems to be pretty popular these days. And today, I feel like I have some pretty strong evidence that one of the biggest guys who does this is maybe not in it for the right reasons. Now, I've talked about this kind of content before, and I wouldn't necessarily say that I have like strong feelings about it, but I definitely have an opinion, and that is a sentence.
Okay, so I gotta stop because I already have an opinion about what he just said. What do you mean you don't have a strong opinion about predator catchers? Like, it makes no sense because you've already made a video about this subject and you're making another one that's 15 minutes long about the biggest one in this genre. I feel like if you're gonna make two videos about this topic, you should have a strong opinion about it. I mean, that's literally why I'm making this video, because I have a strong opinion about the topic that you're talking about. I think the reason why you said that because you were afraid that the video was gonna be perceived as like pretty negative, which it was. So you wanted something to fall back on, like, oh well, you know, I did say I didn't have a strong opinion about it, but I just had an opinion about it, which honestly is a pussy move to me.
Basically, I don't really think the whole predator catching genre of content is one that really belongs on YouTube. I don't really think it's one that should be made at all.
Okay, so August the Duck claims that the YouTube predator catching genre just does not belong on YouTube. But that's a little strange because, you know, August the Duck, you yourself has made videos reacting to the popular show hosted by Chris Hansen, To Catch a Predator. So if you don't think this genre should be allowed on YouTube, then why are you reacting to it on YouTube? Okay, well, it's a show, so it's completely different. Okay, well, Chris Hansen posts his predator catches on YouTube now. So do you still like Chris Hansen? Do you still like his show?
I used to cover the show To Catch a Predator quite often. I love that show. I think it's morbidly hilarious, and I think what Chris Hansen did was very valuable. And I'll expand on that in just one second. But before we begin, I want to talk about today's video sponsor, MyHeritage. Now, MyHeritage is the #1.
Okay, so you're probably wondering why I showed you his sponsor. Why'd you include that? You could just cut that out. Okay, it's important later on, alright? Keep that in mind that he's sponsoring this video.
Personally, I'm of the opinion that people really shouldn't be taking the law into their own hands, especially when it comes to something as sensitive as this. Not to mention, most of the guys who are doing this kind of content, they're not benefiting anybody but themselves. And that's really where my main issue with this kind of stuff lies. Do I support the guys who are doing stuff like that? Well, no, not really. But also, I don't really care if you find yourself in a situation like that, because you shouldn't have been putting yourself in a situation like that. So don't get me wrong, the treatment or like the consequences that these guys face is not the issue I have with this content.
So yeah, please explain the issue you have with this content. Honestly, because it just makes perfect sense.
And if anything, it's really the lack of consequences that they face and the reasons that the guys making this content are doing it. Some are better than others, don't get me wrong. Some of these channels seem to have managed to get in with local law enforcement, or they've developed a better understanding of what exactly they need for the cops to actually be able to do something. But still, you should probably just be leaving this kind of shit up to, you know, law enforcement.
Yeah, that does not make any sense at all. What are you even talking about? Like, the police aren't going to go out of their way to catch predators. I hope you know that, right? So it's up to people like Gideon to do it for them, and then gather all the information for this case to, you know, actually get these predators arrested. So I just don't get what you have an issue with. Besides that, these people, I guess, are police. I don't know. This law just does not make any sense at all.
Because a lot of the times these guys aren't working with the police, or they don't get the right information, they don't capture the right evidence, and all they've done is create a more careful predator who's gonna face no consequences. And if you can't understand why people creating more careful and more aware predators while they're trying to put predators behind bars is a bad thing, well, don't know how to explain that one to you.
Well, you're kind of brain dead, honestly, because your logic does not make any sense. Because if you actually watch Gion's videos, they actually do have police presence, and most of the times they actually do end in arrest. So I don't understand what your issue is. What do you have a problem with? Like, isn't this what you want? Don't you want these people locked up? In fact, if you take a look at your old How to Catch a Predator videos, you say that this is your favorite show, but Chris Hansen is not a police officer. So with your logic in this video, shouldn't you have a problem with this show?
Was saying the clip that we're talking about today kind of caught me off guard because a lot of people have sent me Gideon's predator catching content, and really, if I'm being completely honest, I thought it was kind of some of the better stuff on YouTube when it comes to that genre. It's not perfect, don't get me wrong, I still wouldn't call it like good necessarily. It has all the issues that all this kind of content has, but Gideon does seem to normally try and get what the police need to do something, and a lot of his videos do end with these guys getting arrested.
So if you like his content, I guess somewhat, because you still have a problem with it, and you think he does a pretty good job of building this case, and he actually gets these guys arrested, and police are involved, then I don't understand what you have a problem with. I don't get it. Like, everything you have a problem with in the predator catching genre, Gideon doesn't do. So why do you still got a problem with him? And also, why 7 minutes of the video you're now talking about Gideon?
Now, I don't know how many of them have actually been charged. It's probably not that many. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Correct me if I am, please.
Yeah, you're wrong. Most of the arrests do end in charges. And to prove it, here's a clip from Gideon's video where he reacted to August the Duck's video as well. If you want to watch that, I'll link in the description. It's pretty funny. He goes pretty in on August the Duck.
But for your audience that doesn't know who I am, to at least do the bare minimum of research. But since you said, please correct me, let me help you out.
And I totally agree with Gideon here. I think that's so harmful to your audience because a lot of your audience probably doesn't know who Gideon is or who have never watched a Gideon video in your life. So they're just going off of what you're saying because, well, they trust you, obviously. So it's your due diligence to at least do the bare minimum of research to your claims, like saying that most of his arrests do not end in charges. When in fact, at the end of most of his videos, he shows the charges. And I don't really like how he's like seamlessly trying to throw him in the same pile as, you know, like bad predator catcher channels like, I don't know, FouseyTube, for example, or my bad, Fatality. No, this video is about Fatality. I wouldn't be making this video right now. But let's look at the clip that he just has such a problem with. He had to make a 15-minute video titled, "This Predator Catcher Went Too Far."
Some of the better stuff on YouTube, I think. However, my opinion of it has changed a bit after I've dug into it more. Maybe I just wasn't looking hard enough to begin with, though, to be honest. Because I saw this clip the other day for, I guess it's like a membership for the predator catching content that he does. And I don't know, guys, it's really left a bad taste in my mouth, and I think it's something worth talking about. Because like I was saying earlier, I think a lot of these guys sort of get to a point where they almost start to forget what they're doing, and maybe that's what we're seeing here. I'm going to show you guys the clip in full, and then we're going to go through it. Again, this is like an advertisement for a membership service to his predator catching content.
Please subscribe.
What's this? What the f is this?
Do you want to watch EDP Watch episodes early and completely uncensored? Do you want to listen in on these disturbing one-on-one calls we have with these monsters?
Do you usually like rub your or do you hear it?
And do you want to support our mission to protect those who cannot protect themselves? Then why not join EDPWatch.com?
It's showtime!
Get extended, early, uncut, and exclusive never-before-seen episodes, full uncensored chat logs, audio calls, access to the exclusive Discord, and the chance to be flown out and do an EDP catch with yours truly, DeMarcus Handsome. All for the low, low price of $4.45. So what are you waiting for? Pull a Marquise Brownie and speed on over to EDPWatch.com. Warning, the following content may cause extreme disgust.
So yeah, that's pretty much what he has a problem with. Gideon promoting his subscription to his website. Like, I'm sorry, Gideon, but you just went too far with that, okay? And just to remind you guys, we are now just getting the problem he has with Gideon. And we're like more than halfway done with the video. So I don't understand why this needs to be 15 minutes in the first place. Like, this video could have been way shorter. Like, you could have wrapped this video up in 8 minutes. But even 8 minutes is generous. I honestly think 5 minutes. But I get that you gotta pay the bills. So that's why I'm saying 8 minutes. But to be honest, you didn't have to make this video at all. But let's use our brain. Why does Gideon have a subscription? Like, he's catching predators. Isn't that a little disingenuous? No, not really. Maybe that's my personal belief. But you don't have to subscribe to it. And it's really not a lot. It's like $4.45. That's pretty good for a subscription. Like, all it is just an extra way to support him. Second, these predator catching videos are pretty expensive. You have to pay for a decoy, you gotta pay for security, you gotta pay for the editors and thumbnail makers, and I'm probably not naming everything you gotta pay for. And a lot of the times, his videos do get demonetized, which means he doesn't even get paid for it at all. So again, the website is just an extra way to help him out. Obviously, besides charging money, he also has a problem with the goofiness of the subscription ad.
Obviously, I think there are a few different things wrong with this little plug. One, I think, is just the overall vibe, like the editing style, the way this was scripted. Again, we are talking about content where the entire focus is going after people who try and manipulate, exploit, and do some of the worst things imaginable to some of the most vulnerable members of our society. Like, we're talking about child predators here, and it's like an Adult Swim parody commercial.
But honestly, I actually really like the ad. I think it's very captivating. I think it's also very entertaining and very funny and very well made. And if I ever ran a predator catcher video, I would run an ad like this. I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with making an ad entertaining. And also, it's pretty ironic that you're calling out Gideon for putting ads in his predator catcher videos, but you put one literally in this video. And it was honestly like a pretty long ad. So I don't get the difference between you doing it and Gideon doing it.
Also, like, using EDP as like a meme in this advertisement seems like really poor taste, because that's like one of the biggest examples of how this stuff usually ends. EDP didn't go to jail. Nothing happened to EDP. Sure, he was banned off YouTube, but like, he didn't go to jail and then he got caught trying to do it again. Like, you're kind of exposing yourself here, guys. You're using the most famous example of why your content is kind of a bad thing and doesn't really work as a way to advertise your content. You're kind of showing your hand there that you don't really care if these guys don't actually end up going to jail.
Okay, so the reason why these people like Gideon or Skeeter Gene use EDP as, a way to promote their content or make jokes about it in their contents is because EDP is the most recognizable predator out there. And even though EDP did not get arrested for that, because, well, Skeeter Gene and Gideon did mess the case up, and ever since then, they have learned from that because, well, people grow and get better. It kind of just obvious. And now pretty much all the videos do end in arrest, and they get charged on top of that. And you act like EDP got off the hook in this situation, which, yeah, I guess compared to getting arrested, he did. But his career and him as a person will forever be tarnished. He'll be forever, until the day he dies, forever recognized as a PDF file. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Before this video gets too long, I'm going to wrap it up here. But yeah, this video by August the Duck is just terrible. It's sad to see somebody you used to watch, yes, I used to watch August the Duck, make just such a brain dead take. But I really hope this is like an off day for him. But thank you for 500 subscribers. It really means a lot that many people subscribe to me. That's like half 1,000 people. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.